Meanwhile, Interior Secretary nominee Deb Haaland's chance for confirmation got a big boost yesterday when Democratic Senator Joe Manchin came out in support of her. Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Sharice Davids of Kansas. So why don't we start right there? Neera Tanden, it's looking really tough, but on many levels, we've got a great diverse set of nominees.
Yeah, I think that President Biden has put together a diverse, experienced, phenomenal set of nominees for the various cabinet positions. And obviously, I am very, very supportive and excited to see the progress that we're seeing on Deb Haaland's nomination to run the Department of Interior, which is such an important post.
And tell us, you're here also to talk about the Equality Act. Give us a sense of what that would be able to do that extends the growth that we've seen so far on these levels.
Yeah, so the Equality Act is a really key piece of legislation that we actually passed out of the House in the last session of Congress in a bipartisan way, I'll add. We had 8 Republican colleagues of ours vote in favor of extending protections to the LGBTQ plus community in all aspects of our lives, whether we're talking about healthcare, housing, access to education, places where in a lot of states right now, people who are part of the LGBTQ plus community don't experience all the same rights and benefits, protections, and responsibilities that everyone else does. You know, in my home state of Kansas, I can be the representative to the U.S. House for the 3rd District. And I can also be turned away for housing or health care. And, you know, that's unacceptable for anyone to have to deal with that type of discrimination.
All right, Jason Johnson has a question. Jason?
Congresswoman, we've been talking earlier today about the importance of pushing for a minimum wage of $15, a living wage across the country that would lift many, many Americans out of poverty, even people who are suffering right now during the pandemic. Can you talk a little bit about the popularity of that kind of policy and the impact it could have on your home state of Kansas, which is a red state, but still a place where a bill like this, if this became law, would have a huge impact?
Yeah, so, well, good morning, Jason. You know, I think that whether we're talking about the COVID relief package that we're trying to, we are working on so hard in the House, or the Equality Act, which would extend protections to the LGBTQ plus community, there's a common theme here, and that's making sure that we are protecting everybody in our country, making sure that everyone has access to opportunity, and making sure that people are getting the relief they need right now when so many people are experiencing unemployment, for the first time having to access programs to help offset the damage that this pandemic has done to our economy. Our small businesses are suffering. So whether we're talking about the COVID relief package or the Equality Act or so many of the other important pieces of legislation that we're going to be pushing for, what we need to do is make sure that we're really getting relief into the hands of the people who need it the most right now and protecting those communities that have traditionally been ignored, have been marginalized, and whose, frankly, the disproportionate negative impacts have been exacerbated by this pandemic.
Congresswoman Sharice Davids, thank you very much for being on the show this morning.